What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So Michigan State basketball kicked off its Spain trip with a 94-87 win over the Madrid All Stars. Now look, in the grand scheme of things, we won't take too much away from these exhibition games here in August. They'll be playing 3 games over there in Spain. But given the turnover of this team and some of the new faces that are on the roster and the new faces that will be taking big roles on the roster that were previously held by say Tyson Walker, AJ Hoggard, Malik Hall, these are all going to be new faces stepping into new roles for Michigan State basketball this upcoming season. So a little snippet of game action is nice to see instead of the cut up practice film and workouts during the summer that we get in early fall. Don't get me wrong, those are still great, but just actual game setting against, a competitive opponent for the most part is nice to get a kind of snippet of what the picture will look like come beginning of November. Now, I was able to watch the Instagram Live on the MSU basketball page. Shout out to them for working that out. That was awesome to see. Yes, watching it on your Instagram isn't the most enhanced or immersive experience, but it's basketball nonetheless, and we got to see the whole thing on there either way. Me personally, I was kind of in and out for the first half of the game, but the second half was able to lock in for the whole thing and saw some of the numbers from the exhibition game afterwards. Got a box score that some people have put out on Twitter here, so we're going to go over that. But first, before we jump in from what we saw and some of the numbers, first, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there to follow us for some more MSU content over the next week as they are in their Spain trip, and then obviously leading up to the season, and then with football season here coming up in about 2 weeks from the time you're seeing this. So stay tuned to the channel for more content. Now, Tom Izzo did say in his media availability before leaving for Spain that he would be moving around with some lineups and mixing and matching some lineups, which you'd imagine in an exhibition setting game like this. I think he said probably a different lineup every quarter. I didn't keep track. I'm pretty sure we got that for the most part. They were playing 4 10-minute quarters. They started with pretty much what we thought. Jeremy Fears, Jaden Akins, Frankie Fiddler, Xavier Booker at the 4. And then this was probably the only surprise. Simon Zappala, the transfer coming in, was starting at the 5. There has been some stuff floating around that Zappala was having a good summer. I don't think, however, he'll be the starter come November. I think, like Izzo said, kind of just working on lineups, see what groups of players play together, or play well together, I guess you could say. But so that was the starting 5 they went out there with today. And MSU honestly started out hot. We immediately saw the impact of Jeremy Fears on this team, pushing the pace, getting guys shots, getting to the rim himself even, and we saw a little more of that at the end of the game, which we'll touch back on later. Frankie Fiddler settled in nice as well. We saw him early on coming off kind of that short roll, pin down in the paint, raising for a jumper, nice little 10 to 15 foot shot. 14-foot shot, having that in his bag is nice. I hit one of those early. Xavier Booker led the way with 21 and had a couple of nice defensive rotations too. I believe he had 7 boards as well. I believe that's what the box score said. But Book was definitely the surprise. I don't even want to say surprise. He was the 5-star freshman last year coming in, and this year he's actually going to get like starting minutes. So I wouldn't even say surprise, but that was the biggest development from the game, is that Xavier Booker, yes, it's still an exhibition, but still 21 points, and he was coming off pin downs. He was, had a nice little back to the basket game as well, over his right shoulder to get to that left hand on the baseline. So overall, a really awesome day for Xavier Booker. Staying with the bigs, Jackson Kohler had 13, showed us his nice touch around the rim. Anticipation at the rim as well was nice. Got a bucket off a missed free throw, actually, and was actually set up by Xavier Booker. It was a set rebounding play off of the missed free throw. And shout out to the guy commentating the broadcast on the MSU Basketball Instagram page. Pointed that out, that was, could hear Izzo say, like, good job, Book, that on the box out for that free throw, that he did the right thing, which led Jackson to be wide open under the basket for that putback. Also, the other big, Carson Cooper, showed some nice moments around the rim offensively, which we saw some flashes of last year. Then, of course, we saw some emphatic dunks from Cohen Carr. He was able to have like a nice little like kind of dribble drive, rip through dribble drive kind of under the basket to get one of his dunks, which that was nice. If we can see some more of that going forward, that would be nice. A little bit more of him creating with the ball. Some of the young guys that had some nice moments. Jace Richardson actually got quite a bit of spin, knocked down a couple shots, hit a three towards the end of the third quarter. He finished with 6 points. Kurt Tang had nice anticipation steal and finish on a breakaway. Now some of the not so good, and I don't even want to say not so good because it's an exhibition game. They literally just got there Tuesday. They're playing this game today. Haven't even been there probably a full 48 hours. Jaden Akins did struggle with his shot today. I thought he was making some nice plays off the ball, was making some good hustle plays, even though his shot wasn't going down. He finished the game with 1 point. And obviously you can't have that going forward in the regular season. Michigan State was still able to win this game. Yes, it was an exhibition, but we can't have that, going into the regular season. But he did struggle with his shot. But I thought the shots that he was getting were pretty good, solid shots that he'll probably be able to get during the regular season. So it, probably just one of those nights. I wouldn't be surprised if on Sunday or Tuesday, I believe is the days they play their next 2 games, over there, I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 of those games he has a good shooting output and, puts up 14, 18 points one of those games. 22 points. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we saw that while we were over here on the Spain trip from Jaden Akins. I know he'll bounce back. Then Simon Zapala did start, but he did not score. I don't think scoring will be his role anyway. I think he's kind of more of going to be another defensive anchor, but I think he'll be kind of more an insurance if Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler don't take that leap. After today, I like the scoring that Jackson had down there, and you mix that with Xavier Booker. And we talked it way back if you watched at our end of the season Michigan State basketball season recap, and even 1 or 2 of the videos that we had during the summer here on Michigan State basketball. We talked about how Tom Izzo, it was reported that he liked what he saw last summer from the Booker and Kohler lineup. Booker at that 4, Kohler at that 5, kind of 2 scoring bigs, I guess you could say. But Jackson Kohler was injured for the first, third of the year. So we weren't able to really see that at all. And obviously Book was still working his way into the rotation as well. So we never really got to see that pan out this year. So is that what we're possibly leaning towards this year? Right now, that's probably, I think, best case scenario for this team going forward, giving that scoring punch down there. Yes, you're going to be giving up some defensively, but if Xavier Booker can, make some more strides, which we saw some good defensive rotations out of him today in that exhibition game, and he can help with the weak side blocks, because obviously Jackson is a smaller 5. We know that. But if he can help out with some, help side defense and, the wings, bigger wings like Frankie Fiddler or, even some of the guards can, help dig down on, some of those post entries, which it is 2024. Not that there's going to be a lot of post entries, but, if we can kind of team defense it there and, kind of rely on our scoring a little bit and, the team defense as a whole, I think that Jackson and Book 4-5 combo could be nice heading into the season. Right now, I still, just knowing Tom Izzo and how he does things, I wouldn't be surprised if we, saw Carson Cooper start the game and then, couple minutes stretch, we get Kohler in there for a couple minutes, boom, boom. And then we get Book, swapped out for Cohen Carr to come in at the 4. We get that lineup for a little bit. And then we just kind of keep that rotation going. And then seeing what we've seen the last couple years, you'll probably get a 2 big lineup with Kohler Cooper, like we saw last year, or a Zapala Kohler. I hope we don't see a Zapala Cooper because they're kind of the same thing. Kohler can hit a little elbow jumper. Neither Zapala or Cooper have shown that to this point. Maybe they made strides in the summer and they both can do that. I mean, I'm not even going to mention, knocking down jumpers at Moneyball because it's Moneyball. But, I think that's where we're at right now in terms of that. But besides that, I thought everything went pretty well. It was a good exhibition game against some pretty solid competition over there. So going forward, they play on Sunday in Valencia and then Tuesday in Barcelona. So we'll be back to talk about those games going forward. I believe as long as, the live stream and everything, works for those. And after the trip, if the live stream doesn't work out for, the both of those games and not able to watch all of them in full from all as fans, we'll even break down the couple minute things that they, post on Twitter or YouTube after the game if we get any of that, and just see kind of where we're at. After this Spain trip going forward, what we think some of the lineups will be, and where we think this team is at so far, heading into the end of the summer and the start of fall, getting ready for the preseason leading up into the exhibition game, because got a pretty early exhibition game this year with that October 13th game in Northern Michigan, Tom Izzo's obviously alma mater. Looking forward to that. But anyway, we'll be back. But thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.